Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Hey, as I said on my 1,000 subscriber video that I just posted, I'm looking for new topics, the things to talk about on our channel and what things you'd like to see. And this is going to be the first video in response to your comments. So I will put in the description below where this question came from. The feedback that I got was that there's interest in having further discussions on The Secret, aka the Law of Attraction. So here we go. Now, my previous videos I talked about Law of Attraction primarily in regards to getting, the watch that you want, the car that you want, material things. And I think the best way for someone to come to understand the Law of Attraction is to understand it in a multitude of applications. So not everybody's looking to acquire a wristwatch or a car, so I need to give other examples, I think, to kind of drive this home, things that other people would want that they can kind of relate to. So the other example that really comes to mind that I think a lot of people, are also very interested in is relationships. And the best example that I can think to give on this front is, my experience with relationships. So in my 1,000 subscriber video, I mentioned that I lost my significant other. I would call them actually my spouse, except we weren't legally married. And I think they're a great example because I would definitely credit Law of Attraction to our relationship. And, why do I say that? Well, before we met, and we were together about 2 years, I believe. I should know this. I did a bunch of, dating, and it just wasn't really going anywhere. And actually, I got pretty involved with this one girl in particular, and it was a disaster. I got burned, and I basically come to the point where I was pretty jaded and was kind of frustrated with relationships and didn't think that I'd ever find anyone. And a friend of mine suggested that I do online dating for a while, and I met a bunch of, stalky people, people that were stalkers and creepy people where they lived a million miles away or what have you. And I started to get really down. But what I did is, the more people that I talked to, and the more people that I dated, the more I realized what I really wanted in a relationship and what I didn't. So I created a list of attributes that I wanted in a partner. And, basically all the things that I thought would be, ideal for the relationship. Trustworthy, honest, sense of humor, has a passion about whatever. I mean, I haven't looked at my list in a little while. But I basically went down and through all my experiences with bad dates and, uncomfortable situations, kind of clarified what exactly it was that I wanted in a relationship. And, lo and behold, after, I think, about 4 or 5 months after I got dumped by this creepy girl, and I dated a bunch of weirdos and met some weird people online, and it was a mess, I met my spouse. And when we met, it sounds fairy tale-ish and, Disney-esque in a way, but it was incredible because it was like we'd known each other our entire lives. And we just completely clicked, and we were very, very much each other's yin and yang, and, they understood me far better than I've ever understood myself, and, I knew them inside and out. We'd finish each other's sentences. I know it sounds cheesy, and we had very similar life experiences on the things that mattered, so we'd been through some similar hardships, and we could really relate to each other, but we'd also had very different life, experiences. They were raised in China. I was raised in the United States. They spoke Japanese and Mandarin, and on top of English, I wanted to learn Japanese and Mandarin. It was just weird, but we were able to teach each other a lot. They were really into cooking. I learned a lot about cooking from them. Long story short, we were extremely compatible with each other, and we really forced each other to grow. And we were each other's best friends, and we just totally clicked. And before we met, I had serious doubts about whether or not I could ever have something like that. But because I kept faith through all of these bad situations and through all of these, awkward dating experiences, we were able to meet. And, again, I was keeping faith that something like that existed. And, I'm at another point in my life where, obviously they've passed away at this point, and I could be, woe is me, I'm never going to find that again, and I could be very bitter about it. But Law of Attraction teaches you that that's exactly what you don't want to do. I'm looking at that as this absolutely can't exist. I know what unconditional love feels like. I'm grateful so much for them. They're the best thing that ever happened to me. And I'm going to use that to keep strength about, I know what I deserve in a relationship, and I know what I want in a relationship, and I'm going to keep going until I find it. And, I've dated some people since they've passed away. And again, I've found out more ways to refine what exactly it is that I'm looking for. I've met people with traits that I liked and traits that I couldn't stand. And, I can use that to, again, refine my search and determine what it is exactly that I want in a relationship. And using that to create a mental picture of what that relationship looks like, that's what's going to drive me to that next great relationship. And again, this is, no different than anything else that you want to attract into your life. If it's a car or a watch or a house or what have you, you have to set the criteria of what it is you're looking for, and you have to know what it feels like. You don't know what your dream house looks like unless you've looked at a bunch of houses that don't resonate with you, and you don't know what a great car is unless you've driven really crappy cars. Or, you've had, or if you don't know what a great car is unless you've had really unreliable cars and you've found one that, is reliable, or a great watch unless you've had a crappy plastic watch. I mean, I think a lot of people get so beaten down by negative experience and by things not going their way that they tend to give up on what it is that they want. And that's exactly what you can't do. The law of attraction requires a state of mind of gratitude and a state of mind of faith. So, again, I'm looking back at my spouse, and I'm looking back at all of my ridiculous dates and all the weird things that I got sucked into, and I'm grateful for them because, for my spouse, for a million things, unconditional love, just one of them, but for all the weird dates and everything else that I've done too, because they taught me what it is that I really want. And you're going to find in life that a lot of times what you think you want isn't really what you want and isn't what's going to make you happy. When I was younger, I thought buying really nice cars and really nice watches and having, a really nice house was going to make me really happy. And, now that I'm an adult, I know better. And for me, at least, relationships and caring about people and being with people that really matter and having that connection with people was what I find meaningful in life. And to you, that may be different. But I bring this up because, again, you need to find out what it is that you really want. And the only way you're going to know what you really want is by trying things on to see how they resonate with you. So, from a relationship perspective, you may think you're attracted to a certain type of person with a certain type of personality. But the only way you're ever going to know is unless you get out there and, date them. And sometimes you're going to have to do things outside your comfort zone. For me, I was just trying to meet people that came into my life just by happenstance, and I wasn't meeting a lot of people. And a friend pushed me to do online dating, which I was extremely uncomfortable with. But honestly, in my case, it worked out really well. I've heard a lot of horror stories too. But you have to decide how much you want something, and you need to be willing to go out there and to take a chance that you're going to get hurt, or things are going to go wrong, or things aren't going to work out right, and just accept it as a growing experience and use it to craft a better idea of what it is that you really want. Wristwatch is the same thing. When I was a kid, I always wanted an Omega. I got an Omega, I decided I wanted a Rolex. I always wanted a Rolex. And I got a Rolex, I decided, as you acquire things, you realize you recraft what it is that you want. Car-wise, I'm driving different cars now than I ever thought I'd be driving as a kid, and my interests have changed. And, what I thought I'd like, I don't like, and vice versa. And this applies to all things in life. So, the takeaways on the law of attraction, I think, are, again, pretty simple. First, gratitude. Everything that happens in your life, you can look at it from two perspectives. You can say, and I want to say, let's focus on negative things, because positive things, everybody can be positive about a positive thing, but negative things, life is tough. Life can really suck sometimes, and you're going to get, knocked on your ass, and there's nothing you can do about it. But the only thing you have control over is your attitude. So you can look at things and you can be like, the world sucks. I'm sick of this, and nothing is fair, and everything is just getting me down. Or you can be like, I'm grateful for this experience. I've learned that I'm stronger than I thought I was, and it's crafted a better perspective of what it is that I really want in life and what I am and am not willing to settle for. And that is a good thing. And the other thing that you need to focus on is faith. And I struggle with the word faith a lot because I'm very much a results kind of person. I don't want to believe in things that I can't see. Fortunately for me, I'm at a point with law of attraction, at least, that I've seen consistent results that I have faith that the right thought process will lead to results. Starting off with this, your brain's going to tell you a million different ways that this is a bunch of nonsense and it doesn't work. And, you're going to have to work through that. It's tough. and telling your brain not to be logical about some of this stuff can be very painful, and you're going to get emotional when stuff doesn't go your way, and it's going to be very difficult to stay on task. But you can do it, and I know you can do it because I've done it, and I can be pretty pessimistic about things. So you're going to have faith that even if you don't see the results that you want, that as you have, negative results, you're just further crafting what it is that you do want, and eventually you're going to get what you want. So that again is kind of the secret to the law of attraction from my perspective and my experience. Be grateful for all that you've had in life, negative and positive. It's given you a better understanding of what really matters to you, and it's given you a greater sense of what really is meaningful in life. And also remember to have faith and to not let circumstances knock you down, because one thing you can always control is the way you approach things from your emotions and and what kind of light you want to place things under. So stay positive. Life's going to get you down. Be okay with that. Expect that things aren't always going to go your way, but use those things to determine what it is that you really want, and then use that as motivation to keep searching for what you want. And, as I've talked about this, I've talked about it with relationships, watches, cars, no different. You drive a bunch of cars, you decide what attributes about cars you like, you don't like, you determine that, you want a car this size, it has this much horsepower, that drives this way, and you want to pay this much money for it. Well, again, driving cars you don't like or that are too expensive or whatever, you're going to craft a better understanding of what it is that you want. So use that to build a list of what it is that you're looking for, and then have faith that you're either going to have more experiences that are going to show you better ways to craft what it is you want, or you're going to get exactly what you want. So it's a process. After you've become clear enough in your intent of what it is that you really want, and as long as you can maintain faith that it's something that's going to be possible for you, it's going to show up in your life. So thank you for the viewer that submitted this question. I hope this was helpful to you. And as always, thank you guys for your support. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. And I look forward to posting more content for you all. Thank you so much.